Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be talking about getting your email ready for mobile. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chad. Welcome to the Brown Bag. Yeah, we're talking about mobile-friendly emails, and this is something, Chad, we've talked about before. We did a Brown Bag, I guess, back in November, and there's some new data out that we want to cover. I mean, more and more people are opening email from their devices instead of their desktops, something we noted in 2013, and the trend is definitely continuing in 2014. Movable Ink just recently released its 2014 U.S. Consumer Device Preference Report. This is coming out with first quarter data, and it's got some interesting stats in here relevant to our mobile email topic. Most notable one is that 66% of emails were opened on a mobile device. It's a pretty stunning number, 66%. 47% of those were on smartphones, 19% were on tablets, and iPhones were the big winner here. It is worth noting this was a U.S.-only survey, so that might skew the data a little bit because we see the iPhone penetration is a lot higher in the U.S. 38% of email was open from an iPhone. And so I guess the question here is, what should people be doing about this? One last thing to note before we get into the implications, Chad, is what are the peak times for people opening email on phones? And it turns out to be before business hours in the morning for smartphones, and for tablet owners, it turns out to be at night between 8 and 11 p.m. So I think the discussion today is, what does this mean for our internet marketing community?
Yeah, well, I think the first one is to obviously make sure you realize that the emails you're creating have to be readable on a small screen. So that means that you need to make sure your design is responsive. And responsive email design is a little bit different than responsive website design because most email clients are fairly limited in what they can do. So you want to make your font a little bigger, you want to make sure your images can scale, and test it on mobile devices. The second thing you want to do is really make sure, focus on your subject line, because oftentimes, again, you're dealing with less real estate, so don't waste the entire viewable area of your subject line with non-useful or unuseful information. Make sure you're getting right to the point because people don't have a lot of space to see your message in your subject line, so make it very to the point. At the same time, when you do get into the email, remember the screen is much smaller, so keep your content brief and do have click-throughs, ideally back to a website that is also mobile-friendly, because remember, if someone's coming from a mobile device to a website that's not mobile-friendly, you're going to have a higher bounce rate. And then finally, you really, in this day and age, need to really think about building and curating your email list, looking at stats like open rates, and trying to really get into how you can improve those stats and how you can continue to build your email list, because as we've talked about many times, your email list is a form of, it's an audience that you want to obviously take care of, nurture, and hopefully one day some of those people will either repeat business with you or become a new customer.
Yeah, that list is really important, Chad, and I know a lot of our small business viewers struggle with that, both growing the list and with their open rates. And I think the path to getting a strong open rate is understanding the behavior, and the stat that we opened with, the 66% of emails are now opened on a mobile device, should move you to take some action. So we'd like to hear your comments on this. Drop us a comment, a suggestion. We hope you'll subscribe and join us for a Brown Bag tomorrow.